Hello, everyone. I am so excited today to moderate another one of the SAG-AFTRA Conversations at Home, and I'm really excited to chat with these two ladies. I'm going to be talking to first famed casting director Kim Coleman. She's cast everyone from Spike Lee to Oprah Winfrey, and of course the star actress, guided meditation leader, I might add, Logan Browning, star of Dear White People, who is cast by Kim for the Netflix series. So ladies, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having us.
All right, Kim, I'm going to start with you. I really love any chance that we get to talk to casting directors. I know you don't normally talk, so I'm so glad that you did. But I think the first thing I really want to ask is, when you cast Dear White People and, of course, cast Logan, you already had a film that was already done, and then you had to make a television show. So does that make it easier or does that make it harder?
Well, it worked both ways. It may have been easier from the standpoint of understanding exactly what the director wanted from each actor, and the production team. They knew exactly how the roles would relate and interact. But I think what presented a challenge was assembling a cast that could extend and expand on the chemistry we had already accomplished. And the key to that was finding the anchor, the right Samantha White, and build around her. And luckily for us all, Logan Browning was interested. And she was one of the first actresses that I thought of, and I mentioned to Justin, and she was one of the first actresses I auditioned. And I have to tell you, and I'm not just saying this because we're here talking, but when she walked into my office, just, her choice of costume, just how she just came in, I got chills. She was so confident, she was articulate, she was funny, vulnerable, all the things that we thought embodied the character of Samantha. And the interesting thing was she made a choice of who she thought the character was, and she just blew us away. And we had wanted a new Samantha White, someone who would speak to a new, young, fresher, woke audience. And that's what happened. So we were very, very fortunate.
I completely agree that Dear White People is not Dear White People without Logan and what she brought to the character of Sam. Logan, for you, it's kind of the same question. You're going to be compared. I mean, you know that going into it, that this is based off of a film. As an actress walking into it, I imagine that is even more intimidating because you don't want to feel like it's imitation, but then you also want to be true to the character. So how was being cast in a role that had a previous version?
I gotta say, I'm getting really emotional, like hearing Kim talk about the beginning of all of this, and just knowing that we're going into our 4th season. It's our final season, the tenure we've had, the characters who've gotten the chance to tell their stories in this show. Like it makes me very emotional. And I'm grateful for casting directors like Kim, because there are a million amazing casting directors, but people like Kim are very special because they take their time with you. They give you the space, they hold the space for you to come in the room and be your confident self. And I will say, what was recommended to me from my acting coach for the audition was to go back and read the original script of the film, because there are things that are written in text, obviously, you don't get to see when you watch the amazing Tessa perform as Sam. And that gave me a little bit of inclination into Justin's mind when he wrote the character originally. So then I of course, added my version of who I thought she was, also being from Atlanta, being from the South. Like, there are so many things that obviously make me that I could bring to her.
That is so amazing. And of course you got the job, and we're 3 seasons later.
I have to tell you, as soon as Justin looked at her audition, he just kept texting me, I can't get her out of my mind. I don't know. I just can't get her out of my mind. I think she's it. She's it. I think she's it too. Okay.
I mean, and that's what you would hope you would hope as the actor, right, that the director's like, you know, dreaming about you playing that role, right? It's amazing. And you're blessed because that was a great job. It's 3 seasons later. It's still a hit on Netflix. All of the seasons are, you know, certified fresh. I think they're all like 100%, which, girl, that doesn't happen often. I'll just tell you, some of those are Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah.
But that's like a great yes, and it's a great moment for you as an actor. And in the current times that we're in, there's so many in our community that are struggling because production is shut down and we don't know when they will start up again. And so I just want to mention again that SAG-AFTRA has a fund right now. It's the COVID-19 Fund that is raising money for actors within the SAG-AFTRA community that, you know, maybe need help to make it through these lean times. And so if you're one of those folks, please reach out to the SAG-AFTRA Foundation. And then if you're in the ability to donate, we would also like to ask folks to donate. But again, Logan, you got the job, so that's dope. And then you kind of get to play Sam. But I just want to talk about your audition process, because I love talking to actors about auditions, because there's stories about them. So tell me one where you were sure you weren't going to get it and you got it, like where you walked out of the room like, no way, and then you got it.
It's funny because I feel like Sam was the opposite. I wasn't sure that I would get it, but I was sure that I was her. Do you know what I mean? Like whatever choice was made was beyond me, but I was certain that I was this character. And a time when that was the opposite was my auditions for Hit the Floor. I wanted to play the role that my friend Taylor ended up playing as Asha. I wanted to play the sweet girl, and they just didn't see me as this character. They were just like, there's a naivete to her. There's like a worldliness of you. We just don't see you as this character. And I was so crushed. I'm like, I can be the girl next door. I mean, Kim knows there have been many auditions I've walked into trying to like convince her that I'm a certain character. She's just like, maybe not this one. But that, Hit the Floor was one where I remember I went in, I had a director producer session for Hit the Floor, and they really didn't want me for Asha, and I went home and cried because I had spent my whole pilot season working towards that, and they had me come back for Yelena, who I did not want to play because I did not want to. I felt like there was a stereotype attached to light-skinned women being the bully, and I didn't want to be that.
Right.
Because I had before. And so I resented that. But I was like, it's the end of pilot season and I need a job.
Take this one, yeah. But turned out to be a good thing for you too.
It did. And I learned, yeah.
But I would say that, I mean, you never know. Maybe that was that one show that put you in the eyes of that one weird director that they were like, oh, I remember her from this or her from that. It's really weird what directors think about when they're casting. And that's what I wanted to ask you about, Kim, because it's like a very collaborative process between the casting director, the actor, the producer, and the director to really bring the right group of people. It's almost like building a sports team in some ways, because you've got to like really put it together. Can you tell me a time when maybe you knew, but maybe the director needed some convincing? Like you needed to kind of be like, okay, I know you think this is not the person, but this really is. You don't have to use names, but just like at a time where you kind of had to maybe show them again.
I feel like, I have long standing relationships with a lot of the directors and the producers that I work with over the years. So, we always have a back and forth type thing, and they have a certain vision in their heads. And, my job is to expand that vision, in a lot of ways. So sometimes early in the process, I may put a name or send, an audition to the group or to my director, and I don't get the, initial reaction that I thought I would get. And I usually double check again. Did you receive that tape? Did you receive that name? Just to double check, I just want to make sure, and then try to find out why they felt the way that they felt, So we usually have a back and forth, and 99% of the time, I think we wind up on the same page.
99% of the time, it's the same page.
Yeah, we really do, because I think I understand their vision, and then my job is to, again, try to build on that. And a lot of times, well, I didn't think about that character that way. And when you put it that way, you know, then maybe that's interesting. So sometimes that's happened. I haven't had to really convince them. And some directors like, no, Kim, I don't agree with you. And then if they decide, and you know, I don't want to get specific, but you know, one of my great directors that I work with a lot, if I say, well, okay, you know, well, why are you doing that? Why are you hunching your shoulders? Why are you not? Then he turns it around. It's like, why do you love her over her? And then, so sometimes if I'm silent, and it's like, okay, well, it's your call. Then he gets like, okay, no, I really want to know what's going on. Well, please. So tell me a little more about this actor. Like, then it's not trickery. It's just like, I know them, and it's like, look, you're the boss. I get it. It's your vision. But I was just thinking, let's go this way. So sometimes it's how you talk to them, how they, you know, respect each other's point of view. So it depends.
It's so funny. I'm sure, Logan, you're listening. They're like, really? Like, as an actor, I'd be like, so you got to do to get this man to understand that I was right for it. No, I'm just kidding. No, but I get that, because this is the thing. We all have biases. We all can look at something a certain way. I think the best thing about casting directors is hopefully they approach it from a more empathetic, blank space, right? And then I think what's really interesting is when the perfect actor finds the perfect role, you get the storylines, what we've had through 3 seasons of Dear White People. Going into senior year, the 4th season, Logan, we talked about this earlier in the year, but it's so crazy. Going into the 4th season, Sam is not going to be Sam from Dear White People. And so this is like, I know you don't know yet, because Lord knows you're not really doing anything right now, but what are you thinking going into this final year to know that this is going to be the last chapter, and to know that the character's starting from a very different place than she did in season 1?
I cherish it because it really reflects what a true college experience is like. You know, you come in with an idea and a concept of who you are, who you want to be. You usually come into college trying to recreate and reinvent yourself and cement your identity. And Sam had the opportunity through a lot of her trials to discover herself and to unpack her identity. And so going into, I think that it's a bittersweet liberation for Sam, because the radio station holds her. It holds her to a persona that has the potential to destroy her. You know, it's the thing that she uses to be big and have a voice and be meaningful and impactful and memorable. But also, you know, it's the reason she was trolled. It's the reason that she is in her own way sometimes. So I'm looking forward to us. I'm looking forward to her starting season 4, you know, having been through all of these things, just a stronger version of herself, like a stronger, like cleaner version of herself. Like she's figured it out. She hasn't, obviously, she's still a young woman, you know, she's got a lot more to go and figure out. But yeah, I miss the radio station. That was the thing that I did in the, you know, in the audition. It was that monologue.
Right.
Girl. And this is a testament to Justin and all of the writers, but let's just talk about it. Sam has had some great lines. Like, can we just say, between the clapbacks and the monologues and the telling people what they need to hear? And I'm just wondering, again, we're not done yet, but you've had 3 really great seasons of television with some great dialogue. Is there a line or an interaction, yours or someone else's, that you're like, oh girl, like I lived for that line. I loved it.
I love, our writers are incredible, and I think that all of the actors are so great with their lines too, because it's one thing to have these incredible writers, but then you pair it with these actors who really know how to attach it to who they believe their characters are. So I guess I'll say for Sam, it was that original monologue from episode 1, the end of episode 1. It was my audition monologue. It's what I'll always go back to as like the core of like who Sam was, who she came in as. And it's how I still feel. It's an emotion that I end up feeling today when I wake up in the middle of the night wondering why my friends who are white maybe haven't posted as much as I have. Like, why is it that the Black Americans in the world are the ones screaming at the top of the mountain and white people aren't? Like, how did that end up that way? And it's all in that monologue. Like, I just feel like it always goes back to that core monologue. So.
Yeah, that's another thing about this time is some folks are standing still and folks are being reflective. And I've had those midnight moments too, where I'm just like, and it's not like that. Mine is usually, it's like, why are more people not taking advantage of this moment? I think for me, that's the thing that I'm more like angry when people are like looking at me like, I don't care. I just want to get back and go to the movies. So I totally understand those late night moments. I will say this though too, Kim, you have cast a lot of amazing stuff. I mean, going back the stuff you've done with Spike, the stuff you've done with Oprah, it's incredible. What are some of the discoveries, if you will, where you gave someone, maybe their first job or maybe one of their first high profile jobs that you still look back on and you say, I'm really proud that we were able to bring that actor to that role? And besides Logan, we know Logan and everybody on Dear White People.
It's funny. I don't really take any solo credit for discovery, so to speak, for me. I've assembled, some ensembles that I'm very, very proud of. And, and again, everything is collaborative, but, I don't like to just single out particular actors because I deal with so many actors on a daily basis, and so many actors come to me and they present me with gifts and phone calls and emails. Kim, you changed my life. So I don't really look at it like I discovered them. I mean, they put in the work, they walk into my office, they come in prepared, and, I always tell actors, Kim, thank you. It's like, no, you did it. You got the job. You put in the work. So that's how I really look at it. I mean, I'm excited about a lot of, obviously ensembles that I've cast with Spike, Tyler, Oprah. I'm excited about the Genius Aretha limited series that's coming up. I'm very excited about that cast. And I'm excited about Misha Green's Lovecraft Country on HBO that's coming out. So I don't, it's a combination of the right actors, the right writers, producers, directors, and all the professionals at the top of their game, and that makes the final product. So what piece of the puzzle?
This is why you're a good casting director, because again, as I said, casting is collaborative, and of course that's like absolutely the best answer to give. Speaking of good answers, Logan, you said you've been through pilot season, so I know you put in your reps in the cattle call chairs, and this is mostly going out to actors who have to sit in those hallways. And for my friends that are actors, they've told me that is the most terrifying place to sit, is right before you walk into a room and right after of an audition. So I wanted to know if you have some advice for folks that are, gonna have to, after this, go through probably a very intense pilot season trying to get work, probably the first production that will be happening in 2020. So what advice would you have for actors to prepare for that audition or to how to approach it?
I think you said it in the last part of your question. It's preparedness. It's being prepared. I think a lot of that nervous feeling comes from, did I do enough before I got here? And sorry if you hear my text messages.
I thought that was you.
I don't know how to turn it off on my computer. But it's a lot of that nervousness comes from that not feeling prepared. And I think that also comes from, during pilot season, you have umpteen, oh my goodness gracious, you have umpteen pilots that you're going to. So what I would say is, I mean, I personally would choose the ones that you feel really strongly about, or the directors and the casting directors you feel really strongly about getting in front of, and really, really work on those and not spread yourself thin, because you'll lose the momentum that you have and the energy you need. But also know that is the job. Like 75% of being an actor is auditioning. It's not being on set. It's a falsehood that being on set is being the actor. It's really playing all of these characters. So falling in love with the fact that you get the opportunity to be that character. You are that character when you walk into the room. That is the job. The job is to be that character in the room, to maybe make a friend with a casting director, to show them, you know, your skill, your love, your attention to detail, and leave it, you know?
Leave it on the table. That's what I tell actors all the time. After an audition, they'll just walk out and put their head down. I'll say, come here. What are you doing? Oh, Kim, that was terrible. It's like, look, you gave me your best. We're going to figure out if we're going to put that forward, but walk out of here with your head up. You know, I'm one casting director, 10 other auditions today or 5 other auditions. Walk with your head up. Just be confident. If you don't get this one, you'll get the next one. I tell actors that all the time. You know, this one may not be meant for you, but something better, you know, is out there for you. And that's what I try. When actors leave my office, I don't like to see them leaving, you know, just so down, you know. And then sometimes if they come in and they're totally not prepared, I'm like, you know, get out of here. Come back when you're you're not even reading from the paper. Come back when you're prepared. And I'll just look at them and say, really, get out of here, come back. So.
I mean, it's that honesty, though, that I think everybody both needs and appreciates. We only have a couple more minutes, but I definitely want to ask you ladies on the lighter side. Again, we've got a little bit more time. Logan, I've been following your IG meditations. They've been very great and very needed. I really do personally appreciate that. But I wonder what are...
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm being silly.
No, you're good. No, I was just wondering what else besides that are you watching or doing? And then Kim, afterwards, I'll come to you with the same question. What are you doing in this time?
I'm in class. So my acting coach, Lisa Robertson, has taken her class virtually or to a virtual space. So we still do 12:30 to 5 every Saturday. So, you know, and she asked us how we felt about how we were feeling about the self-taping space. And in order to work on that, she assigned us all to pick a sonnet and work on a sonnet and give it given circumstances and create a set and everything in our homes. And then we do it as a part of our class, which I think has been a fabulous exercise. And we also watch films. We watch, you know, old films. We watch newer films and dissect them and just really get into given circumstances so that we're feeding the artist inside of us, and supporting the people who've done work that is airing now. You know, Janelle Monáe in Homecoming, or Issa Rae's film Lovebirds comes out, you know, on Netflix today. So just supporting the people who've done the work and who maybe expected it to go to theaters. Like Issa expected that film to be in theaters and now it's not. So we need to support.
Absolutely.
Yep. Absolutely. And what about you, Kim? What have you been doing, watching?
Well, I have to tell you, I don't watch that. I'm so blessed, but I've been pretty busy since. So I try to watch as much as I can. I did watch a show that I did enjoy. I enjoyed Little Fires Everywhere, and I enjoyed Dead to Me. Is that it? Yeah, the Dead to Me. So here and there I've been watching. You know, my daughter will say, "Mom, make sure you watch this or watch that." So I have a whole list of shows that I need to catch up on. But I've been blessed. I've been pretty busy. You know, over the last 9 weeks working on two films. So.
Well, that is the enviable place to be. I'm so glad that I'm happy to hear anybody's working and or okay with not working. I'm like, anybody that has that moment right now, you are in a small population.
Right. And another thing, I'm a governor for the casting director branch for the Television Academy. So we've been having, quite a few meetings to, support actors and everyone in need during this, pandemic, and the same with the Motion Picture Academy. So I've been, on a couple different, task force committees and that type of thing, just to make sure, we're all in it together, help out who we can,
No, That's excellent. And that was going to bring me to my final point. Again, I wanted to thank you ladies for participating, but I just wanted to mention again that the SAG-AFTRA Foundation is raising money for SAG actors and members of SAG-AFTRA. So if you can, please donate. This is a fund that goes out to those, folks in need right now. And then also, if you are somebody that is experiencing a hardship, you can go on to SAG-AFTRA Foundation to find out where you can receive help. Again, I want to thank you ladies so much for chatting with me today. Please check out all of their work. You can find, Logan's got Dear White People on Netflix as well as Perfection. And then Kim, you've got like 80 different things coming out. But they get... Girl, your IMDb is deep. It is really deep. But I would definitely advise folks to check all of that out. And I want to thank you all again for watching.
Thank you
Bye-bye.
so much. Thank you, Logan. Love you.
Thank you. Thank you. Love you too.
You guys stay safe.
You too. Thank you.